To me, she said, we'll try marriage for a while and see. I tried. I really tried. We'll work things out, she said. We did. I came out with nothing. She acquired my name, my fortune, my emotions, and I had her lawyers and a divorce suit.
What else can you ask for? It's modern times, folks. If you have a lawyer and her suit, and you have something to fondly remember people by. It's not that you just split in our time and age. You split with as much as you can, apparently. Love was good for the old days, but now you have to face reality. It's the bottom line that counts, and you have to bottom line everything out. So let's try it now and see what we have on deck. Are you all ready? All right, we're on for the cartoon. People told me how odd and funny and strange I was. They seldom stopped to think I thought the same, if not more, of them. If you go to New York City, you hear people talk like that. They say it's beautiful, and they talk very staccato. They talk as though they want to make each lip movement work. Like, get smart, Agent 99. That's funny. I talk this way, kind of at ease. My brother says you should hype everything. You see, my brother and I are different in our style. I'm low-key, and he's very high-key. Let's see what high-key does with the next cartoon.
He spoke about helping others. The poor, the disabled, the lost. He pleaded for contributions to a system. But meanwhile, he ruthlessly destroyed his competitors in business, legally, explaining to all who would listen the vast difference between morality and legality.
There is a vast difference between morality and legality. And if you ask the great minds of our day, the attorneys, they will tell you many things that are not moral are legal, or things that are immoral are legal. So you have to separate the two. I'm going to throw a curve at my brother right now because he requires a curve. And for the next cartoon, we're going to let him do that same voice on the next cartoon. We've been skipping cartoons, but we're going to give him a privileged opportunity right now to do the next cartoon. Are you all ready?
The needy handicapped was so happy about the fund. There was big telethons and massive gatherings and huge parties and gigantic financial pledges. About $6 million was collected. And that was just enough to pay off the expenses of the fundraisers and all, and have enough money to advertise next year's fund for the needy handicapped.
I find that now and then I read the blurbs that come out in newspapers and magazines saying that all the money the organizations have gathered to them have been spent in great part for administration. And that's one reason I don't give to the organizational activities, that the charitable ones that come up. I do give to the staff itself, such as at the Y, and make sure that what I give every year goes to the staff so I can see them eat it or use it. And I know it's not for administrative costs, and 80 to 90 or 95% wasted in some administration facility. But that's the way I am. So we all vary in our approaches. Let's take a look at this cartoon.
I like that. I like the need it or use it. You know, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the richest of all lords is use. Isn't that wonderful?
I think that's Ralph Waldo. You come up with some good ones. I like that.
That's in an essay called Considerations by the Way. The richest of all lords is use.
I like that. I like that. I'm going to give him one in return for that. You can get more done with a kind word and a gun than just a kind word. That was uttered by Irwin Corey. Let's try the next cartoon. I like that stuff about use. My brother's always in there. Let's take a look at this cartoon. Loneliness, emptiness, desolation, Isolation. They asked if any of these words meant anything or something to me. They are me. How's that? Is isolation, desolation, loneliness, and all of those things, are those? They're pointing here from one finger to the other with the cameraman. We don't know which camera we're on. It's like life. You don't know on what step you are, on what rung. You have to find out. Somebody has to tell you, and by the time they tell you, it's too late. Let's take a look at this cartoon. Andre?
I tried to help, but like everyone was suspicious, so I gave it up. You know, I did what everybody else did. I took as much as I could. And I became famous as an outstanding humanitarian.
Do you like my brother's voice? He went to Brooklyn College and he majored in speech. Now he has to come back with dialect and accent, so he could talk like that. You see, if you lived in Brooklyn, you could learn to talk like Stallone. You know, he talked like that all the time. He would be good for cartoon character work. In fact, he's very interesting to mimic. Yeah, yeah. But don't laugh, folks. Stallone is making an absolute fortune. That tells you where our society is. And Dr. Julia, or why call her that? Julia Child. Now, ladies, with that voice, and Dr. Ruth, if speech is so important, how come these people make a fortune with those trademark, erratic, strange voices? But then again, 007, James Bond, makes a fortune talking like this. And then you have to ask yourself, the situation. Henry Kissinger was back on television. We have some national crisis, and Henry is wheeled out right away to ask what he's thinking about. And then he says, I feel the situation that we have. You know how Henry is. He's always muttering in that lower well. It sounds like it's very, very impressive. And if you understand him at times, Irma Bombeck said, if you miss the first few words of Henry Kissinger, it's all over, folks. You think you're losing your hearing when you hear, I feel this situation. He's very impressive, and I like to hear him very much. I'm sure he has a great deal to say. I just don't hear it all the time. Andre, would you like to do the honors on the next?
Oh, you're giving me 2 in a row?
Yes, my brother is an only child. He really is. That was the title of a book a few years ago, and I feel he was never raised with a brother because he always tried to disown me, always tapping me on the head.
You are your brother's keeper.
I am my brother's keeper. Now let's see if you can keep the torch.
Friend.
I am a true friend. Here we go.
You know what they say, a friend in need
is a friend without
is
a
a
deed.
pest.
Yes. Could you do the next commercial?
Everybody is afraid of everybody, but not me. I'm just afraid of me. I never know what I'm going to say or do. I don't have time to fear others. I'm too terrified being afraid of me.
What do you think, Henri? Are you afraid of facing reality?
I ain't afraid of nothing.
That's his real voice. That's his real voice. Why don't you use that voice when you talk normally? Can you tell us?
What? My real voice?
Talk like that. You know what I mean.
I ain't got no real voice. I'm just an actor.
You're an actor.
The whole world is an actor, and whatever they...
What was Shakespeare's line? All the world is a stage, and we are but actors.
That's right.
That's
Four players that strut.
Okay, we're going to take a listen to him.
Here we go. Upon the stage. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
I like that. I like that. It sounds just like New York. Go on, please. Go on.
You want me to do the?
Yeah, I want you to do the rest of that line.
Oh. Signifying nothing. What is life but a poor player?
No, I don't want it done with a clear English. I want it done in a Brooklynese.
No, you can't do it.
You can't do it with a Brooklynese.
No.
Why not?
In deference to William Shakespeare.
Oh, why can't you do it this way?
There's a proper way to do things.
Oh, no, there isn't.
Yes,
what about it? To be or not to be? You know, that's the question, whether it's, that's people talking. Why? Prince. It was done in a certain time. It's changed. Now you have Woody Allen. To be or not to be. That's the question, whether it's right or wrong. You know, Woody Allen would do it. And Dr. Ruth, to be or not to be. I like Dr. Ruth. What about you doing the next cartoon?
You know, I used to bounce out of bed in the early morning, and then I thought about things, and And then I realized I wasn't going far. And then I realized I wouldn't go far. And then I didn't get out of bed.
Andre, do you know a lot of people who don't get out of bed because of that stance and that progression? Is that what happens to people after a while? They just give up? Is that why so many people stay home and don't bother? Why we have so many people not going to the work? It is said that 90% of the people in jobs don't like what they do. They're bored. They don't feel comfortable what they have to do. Is that what your field is about? I'm just asking. I'm not telling. And if that is what happens, is that why we watch so much baseball, football, boxing? Is that why we try to escape? I don't know what the answer is, but I guess we do like to get away from what we do.
Well, that's the definition of work.
That's the definition.
Most people do things 8 hours a day that they don't enjoy doing to make money, to give it to people.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. Andre, why don't you do the next cartoon?
Well, I gave everything to have a home, a family, friends, a career, and then I found it wasn't what I really wanted. So I gave it all up to find out why.
He sounds like the lion from The Wizard of Oz. You remember the lion, Bert Lahr? Come on, put up your dukes, yeah. Let me ask you something. Sincerely, straightforwardly. Have you ever heard of a Brooklyn accent on a lion? Have you ever heard of a lion that talks? How come we accept lions and tigers and all these crazy animals that you're watching now in cartoon form as talking? You've got to be out of your mind. And yet you're sitting there and saying, hey, that's funny. Now, if an adult says that, it's not so fun. We love Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and all the animals talking with us. And I'm going to tell you something. You're ready for commitment. Do you know why? You have cats, 2 or 3 different cats. You talk to the cats differently. One cat with one voice, another voice with another cat. You have a dog, you talk with the dog differently. You're ready for commitment, but you like animals, don't you? I just thought I'd mention that. Let's take a look at one cartoon now, and then we'll be closing. Andre, you got the next cartoon.
Society is a community of people pretending goodness and graciousness with intent being all and action being nothing.
We talk about the morality of things. We recently had a few people who aren't doing too well legally who talked about the morality of greed, how important it is. And sometimes we have people who do things that overshoot the legal aspect and they wind up in problems. I thought we'd end the program with this one cartoon. My dear brother, I call him Ever a Rat. In the old days, now I call him Dear Andre. Dear Andre, would you read this last cartoon? So I think it would sum up what we've been talking about.
I'd like to dedicate, and deviate the next cartoon to my brother Morton. And it goes thusly. I'm willing to listen to anybody who speaks with reason and is meaningful and is able to define himself and his position or lack of position. Since I'm the only one who meets that criteria, I do all the talking.
I'm sure that's true. Do you do all the talking when you're talking with people? There's listening that's important, but remember, it's not where the action is in our society. You've been tuned to a program called Change Your Voice, Change Your Life. My brother, Andre Philippe, he's my real brother. People ask me, is that possible? He doesn't look like me. I think he's very fortunate. He has hair on his head. He has a very gifted mind, and he also has the ability to do voices. Thank you all for joining with me. I'm Mort Cooper, your host on Change Your Voice, Change Your Life. See you next week. We'll communicate through cartoons. Thank you for joining me. Good night.